President Vladimir Putin is set to additionally set his hang on power in the impending Russian political race, as most would consider to be normal to bring about an avalanche triumph for him. Regardless of this, a great many rivals organized an emblematic dissent at surveying stations around early afternoon. Putin, who came to drive in 1999, is on target to get another 6-year term that would outperform Joseph Stalin's presidency, making him Russia's longest-serving pioneer in more than 200 years. The political decision comes right after the deadliest clash in Europe since the Second Great War, ignited by Putin's structure for the attack of Ukraine quite a long time back. Putin has legitimized the intrusion as a unique military activity. Pressures have been intense during the political race, with Ukraine sending off assaults on Russian petroleum treatment facilities, shelling Russian regions, and endeavoring to penetrate Russian boundaries through intermediary powers. Putin has promised to answer these activities. While Putin's triumph in the political decision is close to 100% because of his command over Russia and absence of huge challengers, the previous KGB spy means to show overpowering help from the Russian public. The elector turnout the nation over has previously outperformed levels from 2018. Allies of the late Alexei Navalny, who kicked the bucket in a jail last month, encouraged Russians to partake in an early afternoon against Putin Dissent to communicate their resistance to the pioneer, whom they view as a bad despot. The turnout for the resistance shows has not been autonomously checked, as severe safety efforts were set up, including large number of police and security staff. Notwithstanding, there were reports of expanded citizen numbers, especially among youngsters, at surveying stations in Moscow, St. Petersburg, and Ekaterinburg around early afternoon. A few citizens showed that they were dissenting, despite the fact that there were not many clear signs to separate them from standard electors. The widow of Navalny, Yulia, got cheers and serenades of help when she showed up at the Russian consulate in Berlin. Banished Navalny allies streamed fights inside Russia and abroad on YouTube, pronouncing their triumph in facing dread and confinement. Notwithstanding a few occurrences of fights and interruptions, the resistance stays debilitated without Navalny and other key figures. The Western depiction of Putin as a czar and a danger is countered by Putin's story of a verifiable showdown with a declining and meddling West. He approaches the contention with Ukraine as a feature of a more extensive battle among vote-based systems and despotisms, as the West wrestles with supporting Ukraine against Russian hostility. As the political race unfurls, there are worries about Putin's raising activities in Ukraine and Crimea, which Moscow added in 2014. The result of the political race in questioned domains constrained by Russia stays a disputed matter among Moscow and Kiev.